We advise that you join the program every morning, Mondays through to Fridays, 7:40 all the way to 8:30 a.m. We have our dailies here with us, The Guardian, The Punch, and the Vanguard newspaper. In no particular order, we're going to start to review these papers one after the other. With regards to analysis, Fuad Said, as always, is already on standby, and together we would be looking through these stories until 8:40 a.m., where we open the phone line and allow you an opportunity to participate. But until then, let's look at the stories. Good morning, Fuad. How are you doing today?
Hey, good morning, Sage. I'm good. How are you doing too?
Very well, thank you. As good as anyone can be right now, I guess.
I've always told you people, just take care of yourself. I don't know whether you've been taking it seriously or you just...
I'm not taking care of myself, right? I'm not. Is it possible for us to take care of ourselves? Especially those of us, who work mornings, early mornings. I don't think it's that easy.
The fact that you're able to at least navigate your way through, wake up, God knows how early you wake up on day you have to be at work this early and all of that, and you're still able to make it go through the stress of Lagos, some of the things that some of us cannot even see on air that we have to go through to see the off. So it's a way of taking care of yourself. So the fact that at least you are here doing your job one way or the other means that you're learning to take care of yourself, which is commendable.
Why should I go back home?
Well, that would now mean you're not taking care of yourself.
Oh, good morning, Fuad.
If you now decide to go back home, it now means you have not learned to take care of yourself. I know that can come with consequences.
Anyway, good morning again, Fuad. Thank you for being here. So we have our dailies, like I said before, The Guardian newspaper, The Punch, and Vanguard. Let's start with The Guardian newspaper. Like I said, it's in no particular order. We just take the stories as we see them. I'm uncertain if we're currently streaming, but not to worry at the minute. I'm certain that we are live on our social media platform. Oh, we are streaming, by the way. Thank you. We're streaming live on our Facebook and YouTube platform, so do well to join us. Mainland 98.3 FM or facebook.com/mainland 98.3 FM. One of the beauty of joining our live stream is that you get to comment on these stories real time. As we get through each story, you're able to leave your comment addressing each story, something that you might be unable to do if you're calling directly. So please join the live stream, participate if you are in transit. As long as you have access to the internet, go to our Facebook stream, facebook.com/mainland 98.3 FM, and you can join the program live. Now onto the stories for today, starting with The Guardian. As earlier announced, the top story: inflation, major determinant of living wage negotiation, says NLC. The writers to the story were open to negotiation, NLC TUC to converge at organ level on alleged threats. 615,000 naira not sufficient to make workers comfortable. Labour Party turned to money-making platform. The President of the Nigeria Labour Congress, Jᴏɪr, said fuel subsidy removal accounts for much of the new minimum wage demand, raising what Labour would have considered a fair demand by as much as 200%. Jᴏɪr said that the proposed 615,000 naira wage could be undermined by the spiraling inflation, adding that in the next 2 months, 1 million naira would not be enough as a salary for a Nigerian worker if the current economic realities persist. He also went on further to say that if the price of PMS was still below 200 naira per litre, then they would have considered a sum of about 200,000 naira as the minimum wage. But unfortunately, with all of the removal of fuel subsidy, the increase in tariff, and the current inflation figure, 615,000 naira seems the only reasonable amount for minimum wage. And of course, we've seen the reaction of the federal government to that particular demand. So what does this mean now that Jᴏɪr, the unionist, the TUC and the NLC alike are insisting that 615 is the only reasonable figure at this time? What does this mean for the negotiations regarding minimum wage?
Well, again, it's almost getting so confusing, really, this entire minimum wage conversation, because I would have thought that the tripartite committee should be where valid information will be sought from. If you understand what I'm saying, while the negotiations are going, what has been the discussion, the 3 members of the committee that are now from tripartite committee, what are their positions, what are they saying, what are the figures they are considering, what data are they using. If you understand what I'm saying. But what you have is that, look, there's hardly anything that has been heard as far as the tripartite committee is concerned. I don't even know whether they are with and having dialogue and conversation on this particular point. What you now have is a situation where, the governors are issuing their own statements independently in different states of the country. You also have a situation where, organized labor is also standing, issuing statements, doing their own calculations at the different state levels to almost uncertain what the positions are, as far as this minimum wage conversation is concerned. And then the organized private sector, which is also supposed to be part of the tripartite committee, have been completely silent. Really, we've not heard so much from them as to what they think the minimum wage should be. So you ask yourself, and then the government is also just looking at them. They've made all the promises in the world. They've not really been able to fulfill any of them. I said it even before this entire tripartite committee that, look, it would have been nice for us to know what the position of the federal government is on this minimum wage, because that will now be the standard to begin to now judge other state governments with. Again, let them just even put a figure out there. I say, okay, here's a tripartite committee, blah, 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 blah. For us, from our calculations, from the books and all the data we have, we want to do 80,000 minimum wage. We want to do 70,000 or 100,000. And then we cannot begin to, okay, this is what we are working with. Is that realistic? Is that really a realistic way? Labor can now come. Have you noticed that at the level of the federal government, there's nothing on the table?
Yes.
And that's one concern I raised months back. That, look, why is it that even before the expiration of this old minimum wage, this 30,000 minimum wage in April, we don't have any position from the federal government? The only position we had at that time, sometime last year, was the promise made by President Bola Ahmed that Nigerian workers should go and relax, that indeed a living wage is coming. They had promised them, it was just a promise. I said that, look, from experience, from what we know of government in Nigeria, promises really amount to nothing. Doesn't really mean anything. See the promise being implemented or getting into action. But again, I don't know why we have this level of confusion. The reports are tiring as far as I'm concerned. If there's one news item I like to avoid, until when we have clarity and we have proper direction as to what really wants to happen as far as we're concerned, there has to be these stories that different reports coming from different sources that I think should not be. I thought that we still be hearing more from the tripartite committee, different members of the committee, but unfortunately that it's all confusing now. It's got that there and there. There's really nothing to hold on to.
Well, I remember the reports of 2000, but they were not allowed to speak on the matter to the media. Just
we can't be working with.
The negotiation means that two people actually have to offer something and then reach a compromise. But it's just the labor union that is giving figures right now.
That's the problem. I just said it. If we're just hearing alone from the organized labor, they are the ones doing their calculations, working with their own data and justifying their position. Like I said, in fact, state governors are even, when I say nothing, practically not more methodical about their approach. And that's what I'm saying. We understand when it comes to the purchasing parties that, look, it's not as use that word of people that get.
Well, this is not the only position that provided some 8%. End of May, there's not a company office. They will shut it down. It is possible operation. They divide with the. So do you think that?
Well, we also in transparency. This company marriage to the table. All things today, to the extent that the government is, what exactly are you subsidizing? Plans that they are proposed? A lot of them are who have gone, information so that people can begin to now even rationalize and begin to make the sense from what government is saying. This is exactly what we're talking about. So Nigerians are not even sure that the whole argument or the whole position of government is saying something on electricity is valid. That's number one. Number two, on the argument of Minister Adelabu and of course the schools, the GENCOs and some of the guys in the electricity value chain, that look, whatever we are paying, Nigerians are paying now is not cost reflective. It's also very vague because again the details are far and in between, if you understand what I'm saying. You can't really say what exactly the costs are. What is the operational model? And at that point too, you now begin to argue what then is the guarantee for efficient service delivery, and then you now bring in the issue of service delivery, cost, service, I think that what we should have is to have proper stakeholder engagement. If you understand what I'm saying. I don't like the idea of committees really, because again, we are used to setting up committees without anything in the part of the world. I thought that it should be more of stakeholder engagement, getting to the table, analyzing the data, also looking, because it's not just to continue to argue that people must pay more, they must pay more. We also have to ask ourselves the critical question: if we pay more, these guys in the electricity value chain, can they actually deliver proper services to the people? What services? You keep increasing tariffs. Remember that during the last administration, I think it was Pastor Yᴏᴜᴛ, Vice President, that announced that look, there was a gradual removal of subsidies, which had led to a consistent rise in electricity tariffs. But has anything happened to service? Are we seeing an increment in services or a better service delivery from the power sector? No. So people are people are still arguing that look, you're just going to make us to pay more for darkness. You are going to make us pay more for service that will not come. So I think that from the customers to the government to the organized labor, organized private sector, we need to really sit down, to begin to ask critical questions on how to get the power sector back on track and get Nigerians linked up again. We can't be paying for darkness, they say.
All right.
And there's no way we can be working towards a $1 trillion economy when they say all these things away from the power sector. Because the power sector, the energy sector, is also a major driver of economic prosperity in any nation.
Right. Well, we spent quite some time on this story, but finally, still in that particular story, Joazero finally made a brief comment on the imbroglio between the NLC and the Labour Party, and he says that that party has been turned into some sort of money-making party, and that was not the primary purpose of setting up the party. And he also claims that officers who have been alleged to be involved in corruption have been dismissed, and will continue to see things like that. But currently, he is occupied trying to deal with national issues, and they would soon get on the Labour Party conversation, but he's uncomfortable that they've turned it into some sort of money making party. Fuad, if you can in a minute just comment on that if you like.
Well, the Labour Party issue has become another interesting thing to talk about. I think not all of the positive sides that you may want to begin to speak from. It's all negative. You have a party now that there are questions as to who is even running the party now. Who is legally recognized to run the party? You have the organized labor claiming they are the owners of the party and this is time for them to take charge. You have the chairman of the party, the faction. The Lavida Papa people are still there. While you also have Mr. Julius Abure, who is also there. There was a re-election of the deputy members, council members at the national level that the organized labor have condemned completely. Even INEC to a great extent have distanced themselves from what happened at that election. So I think at the end of the day, it just goes to show that irrespective of what the platform, irrespective of what the day is, Nigerian politicians are what they are. They're just the same and would always act the same when opportunity comes. Because basically what we're seeing with the Labour Party is that looking at people cannot just manage a very small success. Little success they were able to get at the last elections, I think that they are not able to manage it. And the little goodwill we have from Nigerians because of Mr. Peter of his influence may soon become a thing of the past. We do decide to leave the party.
All right. Well, I guess we'll see what happens with all of that, but it's many issues at the same time, and I don't think they'll be able to deal with all of it simultaneously. So I guess it's one problem at a time. You can get more information about that particular headline on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. It's 8 a.m. You are on to Mainland 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos. It is the Morning Express, and it's trends in the papers more specifically. My name is Sage Babalola. Fuad Side is with us virtually. Together we're looking at the front page of the Guardian newspaper. Please don't forget to join our live stream. We're streaming the program live on Facebook, facebook.com/mainland 98.3 FM. Thank you to everyone who's currently on the live stream. We appreciate you. So join us, and again, like I said, you can actually drop your submissions in real time as we get through each of the stories. Let's continue looking at the stories as reported on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. We have here, reps probe Binance executives escape as federal government dismisses bribery claim. Now, describing the escape of Binance chief Nadeem Anjarwalla using a smuggled passport from the National Security Advisor's custody is most disappointing, embarrassing and disturbing. The House of Representatives have resolved to investigate the incident, noting that the development exposed the porosity of the Nigeria security architecture to the world. It demanded that those found culpable should be brought to justice. Adopting a motion by Dominic Okafor, the lower legislative chamber has ordered its relevant committee to probe the matter and fish out culprits. I want to skip to the allegations. Now, we have also here the federal government has termed as diversionary Binance's allegation of $150 million bribery demand against unidentified officials to resolve the ongoing criminal investigation against the company. The current administration said it is aware of Binance's attempts to launder its impaired image as an organization that does not play by the rules and laws guiding business conduct in sovereign nations. Fuad, it's been in the news for a few days now where we had, what's his name? No, Hang. I'm trying to look for the name of the Binance executive. Who alleges that certain individuals who are still unidentified, he has provided no names, acts that he pays a sum of $150 million in cryptocurrency if he wants the case to go away. Well, the federal government has outrightly denied this allegation, and they're claiming that they're just using this to divert the probing that's currently going on. And there's also information that the escaped Binance chief, that's Anjarwalla, who's currently with the Kenyan authorities, are in talks with the EFCC to, what's the word now? Repatriate?
Repatriation, yes.
Yes, repatriating back to the country. So that's really the bulk of the story. What?
Well, yesterday was the government. Yesterday was the government that but also debunked these allegations from Binance, saying it was just all empty, diversionary statement, and that there was nothing to it really, but it was just an allegation to divert attention and all of that. Insisting that they were still going to prosecute the organization and the executives that they held there. Now the House of Reps have also come in to say that, look, it's embarrassing that that statement has,
Hello? Hello? The story is basically an update on what's going on with the whole Binance situation. The investigation into the operation of Binance. They've been accused of allowing their platform to be used for money laundering, manipulation of the naira, speculators, etc., etc., and they're being investigated at the moment. Don't forget that one of the executives actually escaped from the custody of the NSA. He's currently with the Kenyan authorities, according to report, and there are conversations about repatriating him back to the country to face the law. Also, his escape is currently being investigated, and individuals who they believe to be involved in his escape are also currently being fished out. But don't forget that another Binance chief has accused individuals within the government of asking for $150 million in bribe cryptocurrency to make the case go away, an allegation that the federal government has denied. So we're trying to get Fuad's perspective on the allegation and the denial. Fuad, do we have you back?
Yes, like I said quickly, it's not just to dismiss these allegations. I think the government should have get onto this to know whether there was any demand for bribe from that. It could be investigated. Even though I said yesterday that again, these finance guys cannot take it too seriously, because again, that's one organization that has a lot of credibility. You understand what I'm saying? So sometimes you also want to be a bit careful to give what they say, because it's not just in Nigeria. So, in the US, there are several cases in other parts of the world.
The former CEO was arrested.
They've had different fines from different parts of the world, and so they have huge credibility issues around that. So when they make the statement, you want to have a second look at it. But it's not just you have the federal government statement or allegations, or even now the House of Reps, so it's just diversionary. I don't want to use the word we know ourselves, because again, the way Anjarwalla escaped from Nigeria to tell us a lot of things about how corrupt our system is, there was no way Anjarwalla would have escaped the way he escaped. Without some internal conspiracy, and you understand what there must have been an inside job in all of it. So if you can have somebody seen by the office of the NSA, and I can imagine if you are detained, such a high profile person is detained by the office of the NSA. I can imagine the kind of security that will be around that kind of person. And then he escaped in that manner. You don't understand what I'm saying?
I understand.
So if they now say people are demanding for bribes, we now say it's not possible. When in fact, the statement of people demanding for bribes is not as embarrassing as the way the guy is. For us as a people, you don't understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
The fact that their CEO is saying some people demanded for bribes, that the House of Reps considers a serious embarrassment. For me, it's not even as embarrassing as you detain somebody and then just not that you just even detain in a general facility, a special facility that is supposed to be overseen by the office of the NSA, and the person left your country there in that way. They said they take him to mosque to go and pray, the prince of Ramadan, and the man left like that. So which one is more embarrassing now? So I think that we should not, even though I'm not one of the people that really want to produce those guys, but again we can investigate and know where I see there's some truth to the fact that people were demanding for bribes. Meanwhile, it could also be people who want to take advantage of the situation. So you understand, imposters who may just want to roger them. You know those guys who are roger people. And so you have to roger. You don't know they are roger people.
I don't know anything about this.
People that have been fined in different parts of the world, they have been it's all roger now. You think it's not roger?
It's not roger, but let's continue.
Maybe you also do crypto.
I don't actually. I've never understood that system. I don't understand it. I don't know
But
what
you're good
happens
at
there. I plead the fifth. Moving forward.
And they are your friends.
They're not my friends. Please, what? Moving forward, that particular story is on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. We're moving forward now. Lagos State government approves 40% rebate on payment for planning permit and duties. Riders, it says 24,000 approvals granted in 5 years, 300 distressed building demolished. Lagos State government yesterday announced a 40% rebate on payment of duties and planning approval. It also disclosed that over 24,000, I beg your pardon, over 24,000 planning permit approvals were granted in the last 5 years in the state. The State Commissioner for Physical Planning and Urban Development, Dr. Oluyinka Olumide, who spoke during a media briefing to mark the first year of the second term in office of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, said the move was to encourage property owners in the state to do the right thing by ensuring that their property passes all official procedures. In summary, for the Lagos State government is trying to encourage people to go through the proper processes when it comes to owning buildings, real estate investment, amongst other things. They're actually offering a 40% rebate on duties and payments in trying to acquire a planning permit. In fact, they've granted some form of amnesty. So if you are somebody who has not gotten all of your permit, you have a few days of amnesty. I believe May 2nd to July 30th specifically of this year to do that without having to pay exorbitant amount of money. But once that amnesty elapses, your building would of course be either marked X, or you have to pay a high amount of money to redeem your building. So what do you think about this move of offering a rebate to encourage people to go through the proper procedures in getting their planning permit and also their duties and payments?
Well, it's a good one. It's a welcome development because it of course, a 40% reduction in what it would take to apply for building permit. But I think the bigger issue here for me would be the cumbersome process, the bureaucracy that comes with the entire process. Because again, if you ask anybody now, just ask anyone, what does it take to get your building permit? Say, and what would it cost me? Just tell them what would it cost me to get my building approval permit. You cover that there are no clear explanations to what exactly you would have to pay at different levels, because again, you have to go through different agencies and what have you, and there's so much bureaucracy. It's not a seamless process. You understand? So of course, it now brings all manner of corruption, back and stealing, and all of those kinds of things. That's why I think that the government should also look at the process itself. Break the unnecessary bureaucracy, recidivism that comes with, trying to get some of these approvals done. That's number one. Number two, you can't build something on nothing. Before a developer begins, or any best, but maybe somebody will just want to do the personal house or something, property. begins to demand for building plan approval, he must have been able to sort out the title document on the land he wants to build on. As we see, there's a serious problem with the issuance of certificate of occupancy and valid titles on land in Lagos State. People's applications are there for years unattended. In fact, the report we got that even Ambode's time, maybe it was only one that CFO was issued to be, or maybe it was never even issued at all. You should understand what I'm saying. Yeah. And without valid title, you can't even go through the process of getting the plan approval. So it is all, there's a lot that still needs to be done, really, because again, without us breaking down the process, making it simpler, if you have, for example, why do you have the delay in people getting their say of vote or governor's consent on property here for months, sometimes years, unattended to, because the law is indeed clear that it's only the governor or is appointed the representative that should sign those documents. And sometimes we have gotten reports that sometimes you have governors for 4 years who don't sign one C or one, not even one. I think I don't report. You don't know how because the report after the fact that these things don't happen so fast. If you go there and the applications, the several applications. So you now even see developers when they are sending forward, they say application is C or 4 in view. The review is more than 10 years. It's been in view for more than 10 years. Some of them will tell you that look, they have they did all the necessary assessments, everything. They have all the necessary papers, but people are not signed. The governor is not signed. You ask them, the governor is signed. That's what you hear. So we need to break things down. Land administration has become too cumbersome and complex in Lagos. There's no clarity. That's what I'm telling you. It's become and in between all of those things, corruption comes in, a lot of bad practices, and then you now have people, because of their desperation, because again, you can't wait for too long to begin to build your house if you have your money because of the issue of inflation. So what people now do is just, let me just be looking for the approval later. Because you can't continue to wait. So land administration in Lagos requires, to be fair to the Lagos state government, I think land administration is the state probably the most digitalized and improved on. If you look at the way it's being done, but I think there's still more that needs to be done to simplify, break down the bureaucracy and make it more seamless so that people can get title documents when they have what it takes to get it.
All right. Thank you very much. That is on page 5 of the Guardian newspaper. I would like us to pick up the pace just a little bit moving forward. We have a Rivers crisis deepening as pro-Fubara lawmaker elect new speaker. Well, the pressure is getting worse. It's getting worse. The political crisis in Rivers State has deepened as lawmaker loyal to Governor Siminalayi Fubara on Wednesday night elected Victor Jumbo for the House of Assembly.
I like that name, Victor Jumbo.
Though yet to be officially confirmed. The Guardian gathered that the emergence of the new speaker followed recent altercations between the executive and legislators after the presidential peace deal failed. They're just giving us a summary, a backstory into all that has happened. Well, as much as Governor Fubara is saying, I don't recognize those of you in the state assembly. Well, lawmakers loyal to Fubara, one of the 4 who did not defect with the others, Victor Jumbo, have now been named, unofficially named the speaker. So, Fuad, what does this mean? Are we now going to have 2 different state assemblies within the state assembly? I don't even know the right questions to ask at this point, Fuad.
Why?
Because my head is paining me. I don't know. I don't understand it. Everywhere I'm scattered like this. I don't know.
Everywhere I'm scattered. Oh my goodness! You see, when we talk about following the rules and playing by the rules at all times and upholding the principles and the spirit of the Constitution when it comes to political matters, this is what exactly we are talking about. I think it was 5 or 6 months ago when that so-called directive, the 8-point directive, was given to the governor. We said it on this platform that look, there's trouble ahead. We said it that look, this idea of for the sake of peace, that what was done at that time was not going to bring any lasting peace to Rivers State, and that's what we're saying consistently. And if you look at the entire scenario, what happened at that time would have just been a constitutional matter, a legal matter that would have been resolved without any Are you with me, say?
Yes, I'm with you, Fuad.
That would have just been resolved, really. But because at that time, people were looking at political solutions, just for the ego of one man, to rob the ego and sustain, the control of one man over the entire state. Now we have this crisis. What has happened basically is that Governor Fubara, he started this conversation when he met with some political, leaders of Bayelsa who are taking the seat. They were led by the former governor of Bayelsa State. And he said that, look, these guys that are disturbing me, again, we need to say, what you have the River State House of Assembly trying to do is to begin to take over the job of the governor and begin to see, yes, we encourage the doctrine of checks and balances, but when you now begin to act as if you want to now arrogate all the, because let me give you just one example to tell you the kind of dirty policy that is going on in River State. The tenure of the chairman of local government in River State expired, ended, I think in April. And of course, the idea was that, look, either you conduct a local government election immediately or you put two caretaker chairmen there. They knew that the putting caretaker chairman would mean that Fubara would now be given the opportunity to put his own people there.
Yeah.
That's a practice in every part of the country. Because, we are not ready to conduct local government election, they appoint people to just take over the local government, of course, would have to be their political cities and men. So what the state assembly now did was to go straight to the Local Government Act, the law, to amend to say that, look, there shall not be any attempt to postpone the election. And that, look, the chairman, the current chairman, the local government chairman, whose tenure has expired, they extended by 6 months the state house of assembly. You don't understand what I'm saying?
Are they allowed to do that? Can you extend? There's no extension.
I think they amended, and when they amended and the governor refused to sign,
they vetoed
the governor.
Ah.
You understand what I'm saying? Because they know that, it's politics. They want to have their people at the local level.
Right.
The tenure at last had ended, and they knew that, look, it was a very good opportunity for Fubara, at least to first put caretaker committee people there before they now begin to talk about conducting the election, which is what all of them do. But what they did was to really go, amend the law, veto the governor, and extended. Because all these local chairmen that their time had expired, they were from the tenure of Wike. And you know that, you know the deal, that these are Wike people. So they now extended that tenure by 6 months. And Fubara said, I will not pay them. So you have decided to do your own thing by doing by Kadabra to amend the local government law and extending their tenure and also vetoing my decision not to attend to that amendment. Go and pay them yourself. I'm just trying to tell you, and this is almost like the 7th or 8th time that state our assembly have passed laws and vetoed the governor. So it is clear that these so-called Martin Emewele led state assembly are just holding forth. They are running the show of Yᴏᴜᴛᴜ from Abuja. It's as simple as that. I say it all by mouth. And so what do you expect Fubara to do? To begin to look at them.
But now we have two speakers, Fuad. We have two speakers now, basically.
It is now to show them now that, look, there's a serious legal battle ahead. Because with what happened, Fubara will say, okay, I will deal with this other one. It's not left for him to deal with whichever assembly he wants to deal with. We now have 2 assemblies, River State.
Yes.
Maybe people don't want to use their brain.
27-4.
It can be 1. It happened in Edo State. The Evans did not fall. 14 members were denied from getting access to the assembly. It was working with only 10. Because at that time in Edo State, the 14 legislators were loyal to Adam Oshiomhole. On the day of inauguration, when they were supposed to go for inauguration, Oshiomhole told them not to go. They didn't go. They just locked them out. That was why for 4 years, they lost their. So, again, you can blame Fubara. Because I blamed him when he assented, when he signed that 8-point direct from the president. You know, that's the same document that Fubara is saying that, look, it's not even known to law. There's nothing legal about it. You understand what I'm saying? There's nothing legal about it. So, with this new speaker that has now been, Mr. Jumbo, that has now been elected speaker by another party, it is now for the court to begin to decide. And you know the funny thing about the court? 4 years they are still on it.
Right. They keep adjoining and adjoining.
You begin to go and then you have all manner of interim injunction. You know the way you do it now. And at the end of the day, what becomes of governance in Rivers? You know this whole crisis is just because of the interest of one man. Who said he bought funds for everybody? Who said he sponsored everybody? Oh, who said, oh, they want to take my political structure away from me? Who begged him to build a political structure? Is that the way we want to begin to run the country? The idea of building strong men and individuals, not strong institutions, for the benefit of the people. That's what the interest of one man.
Well, we'll get more information on that, or as the new development.
Yeah, you know I told you that this rivers matter.
What?
It's everywhere I've start out.
Well, please,
and it's a game of time.
All right.
It's a game of time. Time will tell. But those activities will win or the government will win. Time will tell. But I'm telling you that, look, the president should also be blamed for what happened in Rivers State. You know that a similar crisis was going to happen in Ondo State when God bless the soul of Governor Rotimi. And then when he was sick, and then Aiyedatiwa was supposed to take over, and then there was this peace accord that they signed.
Yes.
That then Aiyedatiwa as deputy governor
withdraw all of his cases in court.
And that he signed a letter of resignation. You know,
undated.
We want to kill democracy. That's how to run. And I said it yesterday, just for me. That look, the thing they are doing to Fubara, can a Wike take it when he was governor? And you know, people will now begin to talk as if Wike is one alien, a political colossus that came from heaven and suddenly became a colossus politically. There were people that also helped Wike to become governor. What is his relationship with those people now? Or they think Wike just demands. The day they born out, oh, this is Jason Wike, and he was Christian by his parents. He became a political colossus. Some people helped him. What is his relationship with Peter Odili now? What is his relationship with Rotimi Amechi? Those are the guys that helped him. What is his relationship with them now? And the same thing I keep saying is, when President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was governor in Lagos, some of us supported the way he stood his ground against the tyranny of Olusegun Obasanjo then, who withheld the force of Lagos State. We supported it for standing his ground and being a man and being the governor of Lagos State. So we ask again, if President Bola Ahmed Tinubu could do that day against Obasanjo, why is he encouraging somebody to now begin to make a triplet of a governor in Rivers? Double standard?
Fuad, we would address this matter on a later day because I believe new information will come up regarding this, but it's on page 2 of the Guardian newspaper. Other stories here: man bags 14 years for sexually assaulting hearing impaired boy. It's on page 8. There's an editorial here: beyond judiciary, public sector deserves equitable salary structure. And also, gunmen abduct 13 as kidnapping returns to the FCT. Fuad, kidnapping has returned to the Federal Capital Territory.
Instead of us to focus on that, we're looking for money for cyber security.
13 people have been abducted.
Which one is the bigger national security threat?
Of course, adoption.
So it's cyber security that wants trillions of money.
They're 3 trillion naira annually. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We need to ask ourselves, which one is the bigger national security to us? We are not even able to deal with, look, Kaduna State now, they are relocating schools.
Yes, I saw that, yeah, and even merging some just so they're able to secure
the elder farmer practice is still there. I just read a story this morning that the farmer, his hand was chopped off by some elders somewhere in Kaduna State.
Why? He didn't pay
tax.
tax.
Prominent farmer. So all of those we have there, farmers are not able to go to farm. Serious issues. The NSA is not focused on that one. And the bad part of the NSA, this current NSA, is that it's just everywhere and anywhere. Every issue is there. They are fighting in Ondo State. He was there on the table. This weekend matter. You know, he was one of the people on the table.
It's security matter, Fuad. Okay, security matter. Okay. So you should put his
mouth,
please. It's security matter.
I hear you.
Many thanks, Fuad. Many thanks. Well, moving on from the Guardian newspaper. I actually thought I had the Punch, but it wasn't Punch. It was New Telegraph. I'm so sorry. We don't have the Punch, but we have Vanguard newspaper. Let's just look at this. Lagos Calabar Coastal Highway Labour Party PDP reps Afenifere kick as Umahi battles Atiku. The riders Atiku's criticism induced by political calculations. Umahi, that's according to Umahi. Labour Party asks Tinubu APC to come clean. Will ensure adequate funding, says the National Assembly. PDP condemns lies surrounding project. Afenifere wants project halted. follow due process, Rep. Bamidele Salami tells the federal government. Oh, Fuad, military has withdrawn their troops from Okwama community. The Governor Sheriff announced that people can come out from hiding and come back into the state and resettle. But of course, there would be reservations. People will still be afraid. But the governor has said the military have withdrawn their troops from the community. Of course, they'll still be scared. I know, right? It's been really terrible.
Because again, if you look at the airline story, it's almost like the military have promised, but the airline says they've withdrawn.
Yeah, the military is still saying, we'll continue our investigation. We have to fish them out, but the governor is saying it's safe to come back now. So.
Yes, it's there for the people to trust, because again, in all of this, the governor has shown the lack of capacity really to do anything to help them.
Maybe he didn't want to exacerbate the situation, or that's why.
About that debate, and the chief security officer, that's why we keep questioning the model of democracy we are running. At some point, even the governor were not allowed entry to that community. The governor of the state, if we do these things and we continue to, that's why we keep asking us, are we really practicing what democracy is supposed to be, or we are just doing our own thing? How do you explain this? The governor of the state, who is supposed to be the chief security officer of the state, could not even go into a part of the state because a military operation was going on there.
Well,
he was almost clear that he was even begging them. So we need to ask ourselves, what kind of democracy are we practicing? But it's good that at least the governor is saying that the military has promised to withdraw from that community. But again, I'm sure people who have been taken will be careful to come out from wherever they are.
But I really hope that that some form of security is provided.
And the Calabar Coastal Road, we said what we need to say on that. Nobody is saying the road is not good. If you ask me now, for example, between the Fort Milan Bridge and the Calabar Coastal Road, give me the Fort Milan Bridge. So there are several road projects that can impact the economy of the country. There are a lot of road projects in the pipeline that could also make a major difference in the life of Nigeria. So, and the coastal road is not a bad idea, but there is what is called due process. And due process is about obeying the rule of law, which is one of the tenets and foundation of democracy. It's a very simple to say. To have this kind of project done, what does the law say? Nothing that the law says. Have we followed it? Have we respected it? That's the question.
Well, we are out of time,
we know what we know now.
Fuad, we're out of time. What we know, let's not say it yet. Let's wait. Because
that is not follow the rule of law. No due process was followed.
We're out of time.
They violated the Procurement Act. That's what we know. On this is, they are not answering that one. They are playing politics.
Fuad.
The other time the journalist was asking the Mumbai question, they don't understand it.
That's even, I don't even want to talk about that. But then we have Naira depreciates further as dollar sales to BDCs wobble. Well, yesterday the Naira has actually further depreciated 1,435 Naira per dollar on the parallel market and 1,415 on the official market. That's the Nigerian Foreign Exchange Market, NAFEM. So the
Meganomians of government that were posting dollar figures there. Remember?
For this artificial liquidity, we didn't really expect it to last.
People were saying it then. They said no. There was one magic that was being done. Some of them were even. Okay.
Yeah, we have to go. We'll be back. It's Open Mic Thursday, so we have the liberty to go back to these matters. Thank you so much for your analysis. That's it for trends in the papers for today. We're going to go on a quick commercial break. 8:40, we'll be back for Mainland Focus. Open Mic Thursday, so we can still go back, address some of these stories before we open the phone line. My name is Sage Babalola. Stick around. The Morning Express continues right after the commercial. We'll be back for Mainland Focus.
You're listening to Mainland 98.3 FM.
To cook correct food, they always give me joy. That's why anytime when they cook like this, I always season them with no cubes. Come add correct vegetables inside. Ugu, tatasheo, shombo, onions. No one I know they put. Now he make my pikin them. They always enjoy my cooking.
Daddy, I never will. I want more.
You see, Sama all your food with correct vegetables. Come season them with no cubes for that to get delicious taste. Today, chop better.
Real love hard water shield cement now confirm. Oga, we don ready to start the foundation.
Say everything don set?
Yes, sir. Wetin remain now na to buy granite, sand, iron rods, concrete blocks, cement and...
Engineer, wait. Which kind cement una wan use? Tell me.
Na the normal cement, sir.
Sure? Una wan use normal cement for site wey waterlog? Haba! You never hear about Lafarge Water Shield? The new waterproof cement wey no dey let yamayama water wahala spoil house for waterlog area?
Sir.
Put full stop for water wahala for your building. If you wan build house for waterlog area, the correct cement for you na the new Lafarge Water Shield. Lafarge Water Shield na the ogbonge power waterproof cement wey dem formulate for areas wey get water wahala. Lafarge na confirm cement. New Lafarge Water Shield cement na confirm.